What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to discuss none other than my top 15 Machinedramon list. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So this is the deck I brought to Top Cut Ultimate Cup yesterday. So as you can see, it's Machinedramon, of course, and you may wonder why I took this instead of, let's say, All Fours, Bloom Lord, Red Hybrid, Yellow Hybrid, or Beelzemon. There's a few factors that I had to think about picking Machinedramon, actually. So first off, the nerf to Bloom Lord and Beelzemon made me feel more comfortable playing this deck paired to the last Ultimate Cup rulings. Beelzemon's speed was reduced to a major controllable manner, to be honest, so it felt more like an 85% in Machinedramon's favor. We have a lot of protections, and they can't just blow us up as easily. Then we have Bloom Lord. Bloom Lord's hit now has 4 cards restricted for this event alone, which means they have to heavily focus on Quartz and Bloom himself. This means I had to worry less about double Hydras coming down or a Hydramon coming live when I promote up just a tad bit early. So this means I still had a chance with an analog with a Machinedramon BT-12 to be able to suspend, redirect the attack, maybe be able to pass turn and bring it back. They wouldn't be able to consistently apply pressure that way. And then now with the final field, there's Yellow Hybrid, Red Hybrid, and All Force that are really the major decks I figured would be more represented. With Machinedramon decks, when Machinedramon finally hits that field, or Chaosdramon against them, it's harder to remove easily, to be honest, against these decks, which is major reasons why I'm playing for Analog Man to help redirect so I don't have to always block, but that is just vitally important to take into account. The matchups I did face were quite interesting, to be honest. First round was against Bloom Lord. Second round 2 was against Machinedramon. We tied. I literally needed 1 more minute. The player seemed like he was slow playing once we got closer to that 5-minute mark. I didn't call a judge. I was very skeptical on calling judges because of bad history with online judges, but now it seems like it's beneficial to now call them. They were very on point when I had to call them a few other times. Then we had Yellow Hybrid, which was 2-1 against me. Yellow Hybrid is just a very grindy matchup. You just have to make sure you apply pressure and kill them at a very nice pace and just keep them off their board state. And we had Attack of the Heavy Mobile, and we had Hybrid Game Status, so that was able to close out there. Then we faced against Beelzemon. We closed out that match extremely well. Very much I'm happy with that matchup. Then we did have a matchup against All Force. They 2-0'd me. That was my major loss of the day. I could have made a game 3 if I didn't misplay. I hit in the security to basically, they had the Trident, the new option that basically bottom decks one of your opponent's Digimon. That's huge because I had both a Chaosdramon protection. If I just did that, it would have kept me with 1 more card in deck and I would have had a full cycle, and then I could have won game the following turn. Then we faced against a Machinedramon. We 2-0'd that matchup, which was good. We know the matchup well enough to understand what it comes down to and how you have to interact. Then we faced against another Machinedramon, 2-0'd that. Really solid there. And then we had Yellow Hybrid itself, which is good. We went 2-1 that one because Yellow Hybrid, game 2, they just was able to outpace me, which is fine. But outside of that, I had a 6-1-1 record, which isn't terrible. To get 15th place with that means I got 19 points, and I'm quite happy. So let's get into the card by card first. So we played 4 of Chaosdramon. So Chaosdramon is one of the reasons why I picked this deck, is the fact that we can Digivolve 3, which means in most instances we bring them back to their rookies. The fact of that, by being able to give you more sources, gives you more protection, and also it can't be deleted or returned from hand or deck. You may trash 2 level 5s in this Digimon's Digi-Evolutions to prevent it from leaving play. This will help you keep your Chaosdramon on board, and the fact that it can Digivolve on top of your Machinedramon for 1 is quite vital in my opinion. So I definitely liked it at that ratio. I don't think I would change that up, to be honest with you. Then we played 3 BT-12 Machinedramon. So it has the when digivolving on play effect. So we really liked it. We majority of the time use it for the when digivolving. The only time we use it for the on play is if we use Attack of the Heavy Mobile Machine. We're at 1, and we can take one of the pieces, tuck it underneath, and then close out game from there, which we kind of want to do, right? Right. So that's vital information there. And then the fact of being able to grab an analog man by revealing top 5, and then add 1 cyborg or machine ends traits to hand, or place it under the Digimon as a bottom Digivolution, trash the rest. Really useful being able to get that final swing in, like I said, with Attack of the Heavy Mobile or anything like that. But the other effect is on deletion by placing 1 analog man at the bottom of its owner's deck. You may place 1 Machinedramon from your hand without paying its cost. This really helped out. The only time I didn't really like it was the fact of we use Chaosdramon X antibody when we have Machinedramon. So this really makes it a little bit of a struggle to manage resources, because he will proc your when digivolving effects, and it gets really scary because you can mill yourself out pretty quickly, which happened in some instances. Then we did play 2 Chaosdramon X antibody. So start a main phase, place 1 Digimon card with cyborg or machine ends traits from your trash as a bottom Digivolution card of this Digimon. Mandatory skill, always happens. I thought it was a choice skill, but sometimes I didn't always have a machine to be able to tuck. But that's good to know. Then all turns, this Digimon gains all effects of Machinedramon and Chaosdramon in its Digivolution cards. So this basically, that's why I said it gains the Machinedramon, it'll gain Chaosdramons, and then boom, you can double proc the when digivolving effects. So you get to trash 5, pull resources, tuck, and then Chaosdramon to digivolve again. Really good. But all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Quite useful. Very little time did it come up where I had a shot of double Digievolution. But hey, just sometimes it's worth considering. Then we did play 1 EX1 Machinedramon, and I regret that decision. I will never do that again. I will definitely play 2 next time. At least 2 has to be in this deck. I feel like 1 was just a bad call. I didn't realize how much I actually needed it more than I realized that I didn't. So definitely made a miscalling on that, but it will be corrected next time. But the fact of on play, by placing 5 level 5 red or black cyborgs in their traits with different card numbers from your hand or trash to this Digievolution cards, gain 1 memory for each card place. This card doesn't get its DP minus, and then all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted by trashing 2 level 5s from this Digievolution card, prevent its deletion. So definitely a really solid choice there. I think the only change up I would make is the EX1 going up to 2. Don't know how I'm going to sneak it in, but it will probably come in. Next, let's get into the level 5s. So we had 2 Metal Greymon, mostly in here for its inheritable, which lets you swing in. But there are some occasions that, who knows, you can promote up early, especially if they choke you. If you had the stack ready and you have a Metal Greymon, you promote up, Digivolve, boom, blow up their rookie, and now they're set back. So definitely keeping that in mind, but we have Metal Greymon as a useful tech. Then we did play 2 Megadramon. The fact of Bloomlord, this card is really for Bloomlord and All Force decks, or anything that will spam out 3-cost rookies or 3-cost tamers. This is a way of controlling it because of the ability of when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with tamers with a play cost 3 or less, or Digimon, or with its when attacking, if this Digimon has Machine or Dragon Kin in its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or tamer with a play cost 3 or less, mandatory skill. So sometimes it was just bad using it, but I think that's quite useful. I think it's really solid. I like the card. At 2, I wouldn't probably go higher than 2. Then we are playing 2 Metal Tyrannomon. So it does have a when Digivolving on play to be able to lock down if you have a tamer, one of your opponent's Digimon, or if you have more tamers, you can suspend more on their board. That can come up, but very little does it. But it has an all turn effect. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. This is basically, because we don't have a Piercer, I think you need 2 of these. I don't think there's any situation you don't play that at 2. I think that's pretty solid there. Then we do have 1 blocker Machinedramon from starter deck. 5, it's just an inheritable blocker, which is what we kind of want, just to be able to stop mitigating attacks coming through. Then we have Androidmon, who's basically similar to Metal Tyrannomon and its counterpart, Metal Mama. All 3 have the when Digivolving skill. Basically, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 Digimon card with machine and its traits among them to your hand, trash the remaining cards. It feels the graveyard. We like that. We want it to do that. But it also gives inheritable blocker, which we want to have. Then we did, as I stated before, the trio. We have Metal Tyranno, which states the same as Androidmon and Metal Mama, that it'll basically, but its inheritable is where it's important. While this Digimon has machine and traits, it gains reboot. Reboot is very important to be able to restand, get your Digimon out of harm's way. Then we do have Metal Mamamon. Metal Mamamon is if this Digimon has machine in its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. Controls the board. That's what we want to see. And that's how I look at it. Then we have Cyberdramon. None of its main effects will ever be procced. It's the when attacking, if you have 2 or more Black Tamers in play, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. To be honest with you, I'm probably taking this out and replacing it with something better. The DDG evolution is really good. I figured just to have extra DDG evolution to bring big stacks up, down. And that's just kind of how I looked at it. But who knows? Probably taking it out on the next ulti. Then we have Volcanomon that is a blocker, but also a security +1. Not a bad trade-off. That security +1 does apply enough pressure sometimes that you keep going at it because your body is most likely sticking. You have nothing to really worry about. Then we do have Gigadramon that has jamming as its main course of damaging, so you can swing in. But you also have a reboot, so after you swing in with this Digimon, proc some effects. You can Digivolve into, let's say, a Machinedramon. It gains reboot on your opponent's turn, restand because of the inheritable. So that's where we kind of just go with it. Then we have Gigadramon. This card is also treated as red, but opponent's turn, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. Making magic numbers really does come up sometimes, especially on the opponent's turn. Then we have Cyberdramon giving a 2000 DP boost, but while you have a Spinner Tamer in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. What's really nice is, let's say they suspend Analog Man with Samade Sante in green. If I can tuck the Cyberdramon, my Digimon gets bigger now, and that Samade Sante just helped me more than it wasn't. But that is the last level 5 of the deck, which I'm quite happy with. I think the lineup's pretty good. The only changes I would make is probably the other Cyberdramon and maybe both Cyberdramon coming out, but that's about it. Then on our level 4s, we have Gardramon. Blocker. Your turn, this Digimon can't attack, and then when attacking, you trash 1 Digimon card with machine or cyborg in its traits, draw 2 cards. So this just helps get your deck tempo going, especially when you're trying to dig for pieces. Just having a Gardramon being able to dig a little bit further does come up, and I like it a lot. Then we played 3 Numemon. Numemon is just a 1-cost evolve, 3 play cost. I wanted something cheap, especially if our opponent plays a memory setter or something like that on my turn, going first, and I didn't have a rookie. I can at least play Numemon down and then Digivolve up, and then now my opponent has a level 5 staring them down. That most likely will become a Machinedramon target. So just something to think about. And that 1-cost evolve definitely bridge the gap in some circumstances to go all the way to a level 6 again by just having 4 memory, which is very easily done in my style of deck. Then we had 1 Mercurymon. So this is a hybrid game scenario. I could have went with Ragna Lordmon. Should have probably went with Ragna, but that was my mistake. But with Mercurymon on play, when Digivolve until the end of opponent's turn, one of your Digimon gains blocker. If anything, I might bump up Mercury to 2. I feel like I needed it more at 2 than I did not need it at 1. So I was definitely looking for a second Mercurymon in some circumstances, especially when they give me 4 and I have 2 Tamers on board. I can Digivolve twice, swing in twice, and then present lethal. So I think that's very vital information as well. Then we do have 4 Dorumon. So Dorumon has an on-play skill that we aren't really going to use. I don't see any value in doing its on-play skill. It really negs you and hurts you sometimes, but that's just me. But its main effect is your turn. Once per turn, when one of your effects places a Digimon under this Digimon, gain 1 memory. This extends plays, especially if there's not a heavy amount of Chumons in format. We can take a major W in some circumstances with that. Then our next tech slot was 3 Hagurumon. So it's on play. You may trash 1 Digimon with Machine or Cyborg traits from your hand to draw 2 cards. Definitely came up. I needed to filter sometimes. 1 Hagurumon hard play definitely sets you up, especially if you had one in raising. You can just combo off and just get some pluses there that you really need. Then we did play 2 Ludamon. So on play, by placing this Digimon under one of your other Digimon with red or has legendary arms in its traits as a bottom Digievolution, you may reveal the top card of your deck. You may play 1 Digimon with legendary arms in its traits or a play cost 7 or less among them without paying its memory cost. Add the rest to your hand. So, keeping in mind it has to be a legendary arms in its trait or a play cost 7 or less without paying its memory cost. That is a legendary arm. So you have to keep that in mind. So, if not, we're drawing a +1 out of it, which is most of the time. It's just play it down. If the stack has Doru underneath it, you basically Ludo Tuck. This costs 2 to draw 2. It's just basically a fireball. And with the Dorumon line, and then it gains blocker for its inheritable while you have a Digimon that is red or has legendary arms in traits in play, it gains blocker. I think that's just pretty solid there. I think that's what I want. And then we did have 4 Analog Man. Analog Man, backbone of this deck. Basically, start a main phase by trashing 1 level 5 Cyborg and its traits from your hand, gain 1 memory, draw 1 card. Boom, you're in advantage there. But opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks a player by suspending this Tamer, switch the target of the attack of one of your level 6 Digimon with Machine in its traits. So, what's vitally important about this is that it can help redirect, it draws and gains you memory by trashing 1 piece that you don't mind being in the trash anyway. So, definitely vital, and Analog Man's just kind of what you want to be. With 4 copies, you can play a little bit more Tamers because the fact of once you get the Hunters matchup gone, they can't answer any of your board. So that's pretty vital in my opinion. We want to have that. I definitely enjoy playing more Analog Man, to be honest. Being able to not worry about that Hunter matchup does lead into very powerful plays. Next, we do have Izzy, is one of our final Tamers. The reason why I'm playing Izzy is it's a memory setter, which means all our combos can go off really nicely and be butter smooth. The fact of on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If they're all black, you gain 1 memory. The only time I hated doing that was when I wanted to choke my opponent to 1. That gaining the memory hurt me. But being able to stack the cards of your deck the next couple draws means a lot and gives you a lot of information, because then, let's say you do Izzy and then you need to slam down, let's say, Black Memory Boost. Now you know what you're expecting. So, with that kind of information, you take that quite useful. I think having that information really does lead into smarter plays, and, you'll find pieces sooner. Very important. Then, we do have 2 Black Memory Boosts, being able to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Black Digimon card among them. As you have plenty of Black Digimon in this deck, you'll hit something. But the fact of it has delay, gain 2 memory, which can lead to being very important. It extends your plays, depending on what your opponent gives you. You can lead to being very scary against your opponent, and it's just vitally important against that matchup. Then you do have the Attack of the Heavy Mobile at 2. So this is, you may trash 1 Cyborg or Machine in its traits from your hand to have all your level 6s with Machine in its traits gain Rush on play. If this Digimon has a Digievolution card, Blitz for the turn. but it also has a really powerful security effect. You may trash one Digimon with Cyborg or Machinedramon traits from your hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose play cost is less than or equal to the trash play cost. Sometimes that comes up. I'd be able to remove threats off the board a little bit early in the security that I wasn't really able to do beforehand. So I think that's really vital to take into account. Then we do have 4 Digitama to deal with, and that's Doraemon. So this card is your turn. When one of your effects places a Digi-Evolution card under this Digimon, draw a card. This can lead to decking you out, so be careful, be mindful of how you build your deck and how your turns are going, because you can duck yourself out. But I think Doraemon is one of the vital Digitama. But guys, what did you think of this video? Let me know down in the comments. Did you enjoy this style of editing? It really does help me understand what you guys are looking for when it comes down to these videos. So without further ado, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace!